Last week, you watched us test our boat out in all kinds of weather. From foggy mornings with very little wind and using the radar to watch for other vessels, to over 25 knots of wind with 2 reefs in the mainsail to reduce our sail area. However, these initial days on our boat, though testing for us, had some nice perks, such as the calm, still mornings spent with the sun shining while we were in Port Washington, New York. This week, we tackled New York City, including the notorious currents and marine traffic on the East River, as well as sailing past some iconic sites. We also try and solve our biggest problem, the cold winter weather.
Motoring into the East River today. We've got all the tricky East River currents like Frog's Neck and Hell's Gate to go through, so we might check up the sail if we get a good angle and lots of room and not too much traffic, but we might just motor to our anchorage just so we get there in lots of time for daylight.
But for now we just want to get through before dark because it's really tight where we're going to drop the pick, but we've been told that it's one of the nicest places in New York to anchor. So we're going to try it out and see how nice it actually is.
The most important part of planning our transit of New York's East River was checking the currents in areas like the notorious Hell's Gate, where the current is really pronounced. The East River is considered a tidal estuary, connecting freshwater rivers and streams and the ocean, and it is heavily affected by the tides and has strong currents. Therefore, we wanted to ensure to plan our transit either at slack tide, little to no current, or when the directional movement of the current is with us, represented by the arrow in the graph. Passing through these areas too early in the morning meant currents could be as much as 3.42 knots against us. This would make our passage slow and risk that our propeller is not strong enough or big enough to overcome the current in the event we need to make a quick maneuver. Alternatively, if we waited too long in the day, the current could be as much as 4.59 knots with us. Given we did not know the area well and didn't want to get moving too quickly or be unable to slow down, we did not want to be in the heavy currents at this time, even though it would certainly make the transit quick. Therefore, we decided to transit this portion of the river as close to or just after the afternoon slack tide at 12:22 p.m. And so, early that afternoon, we were on our way.
Looks like there's land in front of us, but the GPS says go straight. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'll go that way.
Definitely don't go that way.
I think my internal
You're
GPS...
going to go that way.
I think my internal GPS is probably better women's intuition than Garmin's women's intuition. It'll be fine. We're going this way.
Kelly's got the nickname Nav Man when we drive around because she is so bad with directions. Seriously, the worst.
Nav Man suggests I'm good at directions.
So we're actually going under that bridge over there, Kelly Duncan.
Are we?
We're going under that one over there.
We sailed under multiple bridges, past JFK Airport and factory buildings before we reached Hell's Gate. Arriving a little later than planned, we had some current with us, moving so fast that it looked intimidating, like a river with small rapids. And in this stretch, we reached over 10 knots of speed on the GPS with a low throttle, when our normal maximum speed at full throttle is only around 6 knots. Before we knew it, we had transited the worst of the currents, and we were fully surrounded by New York City. We passed by many well-known sites, the Queensboro Bridge, UN headquarters, the Williamsburg Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, and the Brooklyn Bridge, as well as the beautiful high-rises making up the New York City skyline. And then came time for the part that we most looked forward to, our sail to our anchorage right past the iconic Statue of Liberty.
Never thought I would leave her.
We dropped the anchor and settled in, eating dinner and playing a game, before we peeked outside just before going to bed to see the view from the boat of Lady Liberty lit up at night.
What's the happenings, Kelly?
I am making the biggest Mexican feast you've ever seen, so that we have lots of food for tomorrow. We've got a couple of 3 days, maybe 2-3 days to at least, and then I won't have to cook as much while we're underway.
And I am going to fix our leaking engine. So as we were coming down the East River, perfect timing going through Hell's Gate, we developed a leak from one of the cooling pipes. So it was a bit hectic. Now it's just fixing this leak, and I'm going to try and turn the O-ring around and see if that works, but I don't think it will. So we'll have to come up with some other fancy dancy little fix.
We used our remaining time in New York to take a walk through Liberty State Park and into town to find some things that we needed. We were unsuccessful on any engine parts, but we were able to find hot water bottles and proper footwear for the weather.
Oh, I was dancing above my boots. The backpack's really heavy. Don't even care that it's raining. And I've always wanted matching couples something, and now we have matching couples boots.
We have matching couples' hatred of cold.
Just gearing up to leave New York City, and it is so foggy and so cold outside.
It's not foggy now.
Oh, it's not foggy now.
No.
Ooh, it's starting to clear. Well, we got the cold winds from the north meeting yesterday's winds from the south, and blankets of fog. Well, it sort of swung around this morning, but it's cleared and the winds are behind us, and it's just past midday.
Yeah.
And we're ready to pull up the anchor. This is our first multi-day sail. We sailed overnight once, but it only lasted 12 hours, so it doesn't really count. Last year. Anyway.
Oh. Yeah.
A while ago.
That was a while ago.
But yeah, so we're excited to leave. I'll give you the last shot.
So today is what day? Tuesday.
Oh yeah. So we hope to get there by Friday.
Friday AM.
And there being Norfolk, Virginia.
Or we just keep going.
Or we just keep going.
We'll have to
Wait and see.
Let's go get this show on the road. See ya, Lady Liberty. It's been good knowing ya.
With New York City and the East River behind us, we tackled our next challenge. Our first overnight sail, a 3-day sail down to Norfolk, Virginia.
Distance to destination, 255 miles.
And so we left New York, not realizing that the weather forecast was not exactly as we predicted, and that we would not be making it to Norfolk.
Wow. It's nights like this. Question buying a boat.
Stay tuned to see how this relaxing sail quickly turned into one of the scariest experiences on the boat so far.